It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this for 2 years. I bought the ticket for the Denver workshop in 2020, and COVID happened, and I survived a year of unemployment, but never refunded my ticket. And 2 months ago, you guys emailed me, and I'm like, yes, I will totally take it.
Yes.
Been looking forward to it, so thank you. Thank you for being back in person. My question is I've been rough time in life growing up. Lived in a very negative household with negative parents.
Yeah.
And
good basis for launching lots of rockets, but
yes.
blah, blah, blah to that, right?
Yeah, yes. I'm trying not to go back to it either.
Yeah.
So, and spending a lot of time at the lower end of the emotional scale.
It's understandable.
Yeah. So it's...
Because most do respond to what's happening.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to talk about, how to not do that.
Yeah. So, trying to find myself not in a broken loop of where I have times and clarity, moments of, whoa, that was totally law of attraction, like I just was thinking about it, just releasing resistance when I think thought I'd never release the resistance, but now I'm starting to realize maybe I've inched my way up the emotional scale. So it's trying to stay away from that deep, dark desire of life is hard, don't like humans, why am I here?
Here's a good way to approach all of this.
And find the joy in life.
Because everyone relates to this to some degree, yes? What a good way for us to begin this conversation today. Because you heard us say moments ago that you have a point of attraction. And what that means is what you think, and therefore how you feel, is what you are attracting. Now, it's interesting because through all of that hard time, even some that happens recently, you're asking for improvement, and your inner being is holding focus on that. So the law of attraction is responding both to what you want and to where you stand vibrationally in relationship to it. That's why there can feel like there's a tug of war, and that's what negative emotion is. If you can stop that tug of war for a moment through meditation or some form of focus, or even by slumbering, it slows it way, way down, then you feel better because the tug of war softens. You don't feel the tension of it. So now we want to introduce into this important conversation your point of focus that goes like this. I can tell by the way I feel whether I'm letting in all I've asked for or whether I'm in the way of it. It really is only that simple. Nothing else is standing between you and anything you want. Now that's kind of hard to hear, especially when you started out with the hard times, because it felt to you that hard times were coming to you and you weren't asking for them. Felt like you weren't asked for them. Who would ask for hard times? But you did. From your non-physical perspective, you said, I'm a teacher. I can't teach what I don't know. And I'm going forth, as is everyone else that's going to planet Earth at this time. I'm going forth into a variety of contrast where we are all understanding, at least at the time that we're launching in, we're understanding that we create our own reality and that we have infinite choices, myriads of choices. And that there are going to be a whole lot of people surrounding us, billions you knew, who would be believing different things, wanting different things. Talk about a sort of chaotic environment. And you said, I want to get good at this early on. I don't want a feathered nest. I don't want everything lined up around me so that all I have to do is weakly, lazily, sloppily, just observe and feel good about what I'm observing. And even that gets old no matter how good it is. I want to know how to maintain my balance because I believe in these things. I believe in free will of 100% of the population on planet Earth, in the universe, because I know that the law of attraction responds to every vibrational frequency. And so rather than a feathered nest, I want to be really good at focusing, which means I'm going to have to hold my vibrational tone no matter what's going on around me, because otherwise I will be in a trap, as so many generations that have gone before me have been, where I will be living a very conditional love, because they're not all going to behave the way I might think I need them to behave in order for me to feel good. They're not going to do it. But I want to love anyway. I don't want to be part of the world that needs to line up in segments, pigeonhole and catalog, and say, this is what we believe in, this is the right way, and therefore everyone else is wrong, and then gather a stance of pushing against what I don't want. Because I know, you said, we said we'd remind you, I know that the law of attraction is responding to my own thoughts, and if I'm pushing against what I don't want, I'm attracting what I do not want. That's not why I'm going into this body. That's not what creation is about for me. I want variety. I don't care if it's difficult. I'll figure it out as I go along. And in time, it will be hard enough for me that I will start looking for answers, and I will find them, because I know you said, from that non-physical perspective, no matter how much is going on around me, if my desire is strong enough, I will find the way. Desire is a very powerful thing. And when you think about your inner being who's lined up there with you, who's focused with you, who's calling all cooperative components forth, when you ask, it is given. Someone should write a book. When you ask, it is given. The only question is, are you a cooperative component, or are you stuck on some thought that you've been thinking for a long time, trending on? Because so many, Esther talks about it with herself every day, want to be right about this. You live life and you gather lots of experiences and you have exposure to lots of things and you come to lots of opinions and you really believe that you're right. All of you do. Each one of you believe that you have the right perspective. You should have seen Esther and her daughter trying to decide where to place a piece of furniture the other day. It was really funny. Esther came this close to saying, "This is my house." Because Tracy has good ideas too, and one idea was really as good as the other, but this is my house. And so what you want to do is find a way that, rather than needing to be right to prove something that can never be proven because it isn't in question, your value or your worthiness, you want to know instead, am I in alignment with my source energy, who is the holder vibrational frequency of all that I have become, and that all that I desire, and that all that is in the process of becoming, where I and others can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it. Yeah? That makes so much sense to you, doesn't it? As you hear it right now, you feel the resonance of that. So that means your work is, and you said such good words about this, when you're involved in life and you run across yet a new experience that causes you to feel a new pinch of negative emotion, that means this is an opportunity for me to release some resistance. But if it's a strong, hard pinch, if it's a very strong negative emotion, right here, right now, you're not going to do much to release the resistance. Usually you're going to double down and make your claim and explain why you're feeling it, and do your best to convince anyone involved why you're feeling it. But in time, as you can do less of that, then little by little, and these are the words that we want you all to take away from this gathering more than all others put together. Bit by bit, you will stop renewing your resistant pattern. Because if you don't keep renewing your resistant pattern about this or that or this or that or this or that, it will peter out. It will cease to exist. It will be clear attraction. You'll be a cooperative component because you've released that. Jerry used to tell the story of sitting in front of a fireplace when he was a kid. And sometimes there were some very popping logs on the fire that gave off a lot of sparks. And when one would hit a piece of his clothing, Jerry discovered very quickly, the faster he got that spark off, the less likely it was to damage his clothing. And negative thoughts are the same way in this sense. The faster you turn your attention from them, the faster you do not continue to activate them by your attention, the faster you do not continue to activate the vibration in you of that thing you're focused on, then the easier it is to do. But if it's something you've been carrying around for a while, don't try to do it right now. It'll just make you nuts. But first opportunity that you have, think it through. Think it through and just ask yourself, when you're not feeling the intensity of the negative emotion, really now, is this something that I want to continue to push against and continue to activate as a vibrational point of my attraction and continue to use as my current excuse to keep myself from this I want and this I want and this I want? Just reason with yourself when you feel better and catch yourself when it's something light and easy to just, as Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Look at what you do want instead of what you don't want.
It's hard to turn the other cheek sometimes, though.
Well, now we just gave you 18 minutes of the best work we have.
I know.
And you just did what almost everyone does. You stuck to where you are because vibrational patterns don't change instantly. In other words, this may sound like so many words to you, but they are so many words about laws of the universe that as you hear them and integrate them and apply them, and most of all, care so much more about feeling good than anything else, so much more about feeling good than anything else, so much more about feeling good than anything else, we know for sure that even though it's hard, don't start with the hardest things, start with the easiest things. And show yourself how you can focus by deliberate intent. That's what a deliberate creator does. And that's why you chose the life you chose. You want to be a deliberate creator. You said, don't make it easy. I want to get this down good because I'm going to be a teacher in a world where so many people believe so many bogus things and have so many flawed premises that are keeping them from the magnificent lives that they want and deserve. I'm going to get this. I'm going to focus, and I don't need smooth sailing to focus. I can focus and focus and focus when it's easy, connect with my inner being until I know what that feels like. Activate within myself more often than not the feeling of love, less and less feel hate or discontent or aggravation of any kind until you'll have your sea legs. You will.
Thank you.
Really good way to begin. Really good way to begin.